Alright, well, it surely took me quite a while to try and figure this out, and, well, I still couldn't. So, this is another one of those moments where I had to ask a friend of mine to give me the solution, and they gave me a picture of it, and apparently it should be like this. I mean, yeah, it does fit, like, perfectly. Let's see if it's gonna recognize like that. Yep, there you go. Good. It has a pretty good, it has a pretty good shape recognition there, must say. There were some forms over there that were a little off, but alright, nonetheless. Oh yeah, who's the man? Who's the man that gave up and decided to cheat? This guy!
That was amazing. There was some amazing cheating there, Sigma. How did you do it? That puzzle was really hard. And we don't really have any connection to internet anyway.
Well done, Sigma. You are quite the pro cheater. That was pretty impressive cheating. So, what do we get for our cheating?
Look! There's something on the screen.
IILP? What does that mean? Well, it's surely not MLP. I mean, what if it were, then we can surely say that Zero is a fan of My Little Pony. The screen says IILP. Okay, well, in that case, let's input this as well in this. I have no idea what this IILP stands for. Phew. Looks like it worked. Good job.
That was awesome.
We just put the password in, guys. The screen changed. Okay, well, let's input the password in. Alright, well, let's get to cracking. Let's use this blue password first. There we go. Let's get our prize. Sweet.
Good job. It opened.
Good work. Man, you people just love praising Sigma, don't you? Well, Sigma is a pretty lovely guy, must say. Actually, what was it like? It was like this. Alright, sweet. Wait, that's it? Just the cards and the key? Phew, it's open. Alright, well, it looks kind of empty this time. There are only two things in here. First we got the AB room key cards. Oh, this must be the start cards they were talking about.
There are two of them.
You guys take one and I'll take the other. Right. We are a pair, so we only need one for the two of us. And the other thing is the key, as usual.
Yes. Now I can get out of here.
Alright. Great. No point in sitting around. Let's go. The door lock. It says lock right now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Go for it. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go! We still haven't done anything with the computer though. And that weird platform that we have seen before. That green platform.
No! Damn it!
What's wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
What was it?
The picture.
Oh.
How could I forget it?
Oh yeah. I must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah. I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
I want to come with you.
Me too.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back to the warehouse, Sigma? The others are probably already waiting.
I kinda have my... I'll see you two later then.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
Okay, stay safe! I watched them jog off toward the blue door. And then they were gone. Guess I should be getting back then. Alright, back to the warehouse A. Hey! Is everybody here? I hope so. Pray to God, I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Okay, good. Kay and Luna. Find Clover. And Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AB room and slid his card through the reader. What? I guess... Maybe... maybe this is...
has been opened.
Maybe this time he wanted to make sure every party got out of the rooms before he started opening the AB room. I mean, that's nice. Still, maybe he was forced into doing it after everyone got out. For all we know, Dio would have opened the door way earlier, if it were just him, like last times.
45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
As he turned to look at me, I swear I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it. You see? I can be considerate.
Were you considerate, or did everyone else force you to wait? But Tenmyouji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
And they'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling all of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. So you're saying that you found nothing of any particular interest in your safes either? I mean, we've only found the key and the key to escape the room and the key cards. That's it. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Tenmyouji and Quark were nowhere in sight. Ay, good Christ, no. What the world could have happened to them now? I mean, the rest of us are here.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Nah, I'll be fine by myself. He's not that far away.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
Eh? That's... I don't think... Okay. Look, I'm just going to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Right. See you guys later. I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. In which case... Oh god. It can't be that Quark showed signs of being infected again. And Tenmyouji probably went with him to the infirmary. That or... He was the deer! The picture's gone, though. So they must have taken it. And they left. Tenmyouji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B map. They could have... I think that they could have gone the other way around. If we are to check this, let's see. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out of the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kinda the long way around. Yeah, we could have missed each other if we went through the same route as before, but still, it took them like 20 minutes. What happened to them? Huh. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Unless something happened here or on the way there that grabbed their attention. Maybe it's the computer, we should totally check that. Huh. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back, I suppose. I picked up the map and was headed toward the door when... Huh? There was a light on where there hadn't been a light before. What? Why is that thing on? Oh, shoot, son! It's a teleporter, isn't it? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed, and edged cautiously toward it. Hello? The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it. Slowly. Slowly. Do not get your arm cut off because of the teleportation, Sigma. Well...
So, you finally made it.
Yes, I have. Who are you? You surely look like a pirate. No, you're...
I am Zero. I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky.
Yes. I do have quite a lot of questions, like... Do you also have a parrot? Have you traveled the 7 seas? Did you find the One Piece?
As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile and kept my balled fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited.
Uh-oh. He's gonna use his powers of blocking our story progress with a to-be-continued fade-in.
As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen 2 things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites.
What an odd topic to discuss on our first date, Zero. You must be real fun with the ladies.
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now. Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound? They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
So, you're saying that we have not evolved from monkeys, but rather termites. We are like termites, but smarter. Huh. No wonder we don't have tails. I mean, think about it. We are supposed to be an evolved version of monkeys, and yet the tail would be so advantageous to us, and yet we don't have the tail with us. Don't you think that's odd? No. What Zero's saying here must be the truth. We are actually evolved termites.
Now, consider humans. Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty. And you are about to catch a glimpse of it.
Oh? Did you hear that, Sigma? A dimension just above the ones we know, since time immemorial. We have a shot at going to Disney World.
Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you.
Ooh, a password?
It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Bomb? Oh, shoot, son! Wow, I forgot about bombs being a thing.
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
Okay, let me write this down here a little bit. Hold on. I do have a pen around here somewhere. Where's the freaking pen? I had it like hours ago. I know that. I guess I'm gonna use this. Let's see. Okay, so BBQ, Ray William Johnson, and DirectX ray tracking. Okay, got it. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Actually, I probably should just write here. Why don't we? Let me just write it like right over here. So, what was it like? I think it was like BQZ Air J G Air GJ D X R. Should be like a D, not a P. Alright, there you go. BQZ RGJ DXR. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? If he guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately. I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Wait! God damn it, you cannot just spout all that crap and disappear! I find myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared. Huh. Well, this will prove useful for the other timelines. What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? Disney World? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit! I kicked out at the nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Oh crap. I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. Except for the computer, maybe? I spun around and ran out of the room, toward the warehouse.
Grandpa!
Oh. Thank God you're alright. What took you so goddamn long? Also, thank God that we didn't have to go through all that process of going through doors and looking at the map and all that. We instantly spawned here.
Look! Mr. Sigma's back!
Took you long enough.
Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah! Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Nothing significant.
That's it.
And you have to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You'd get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True. But you must have considered that I'll choose betray. And that would mean you choose betray to protect yourselves.
But that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
And you really trust Sigma that he will choose ally? You guys! Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright. Tell me one thing. Let's say we do this in both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave. Which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too. I promise.
Man. So all you got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us!
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally! You promised!
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room, second from the right. Oh, guess I should get going now. Guess I should get moving. Another day, another AB round.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Tenmyouji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That will bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet. Ugh. I gotta say that I feel good about this, honestly, but I want to believe that they will keep their promise. I want to believe in them. Still, this is either going to be great or it is going to bite us in the ass. But
Please! You've gotta trust us! You've gotta choose ally! You promised!
Tenmyouji, I could betray easily enough. But Quark? What the hell was I going to do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright. What's it gonna be?
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening. Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yep. Another betrayal to put in my resume.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Hey! What the hell, guys? I guess you really didn't want to risk yourselves with Sigma choosing betray himself. Am I right? Why did you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why did you break your promise, Tenmyouji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door even if we got 9 points.
What? So, you're not going to leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What? But you just said that you aren't going to leave. You promised. What?
Look, see Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me... Why?
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyouji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyouji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave?
Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others, so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyouji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
I guess since Clover opened the door, you don't really have much of a choice. Whether you initially wanted to leave or not.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell I'm happy! That's some shady shit, Tenmyouji!
If you say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's gotta pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
Well, who is it?
What?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait!
Wait, hold on a
This is
second.
for you, Mr. Sigma.
I need to know who your senior is. He said that he knew exactly who your senior is. And that there's no point hiding it. Tell us, Tenmyouji. Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game.
I see, so that's why you were gone for such a long time.
I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
You got it, champ. He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
And then he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyouji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
Well then.
The number
I
9
guess
door has closed.
I guess Tenmyouji and Clover escaped in the end. This definitely seems familiar to me.
This ends the Nonary Game. Thank you for your participation.
Alright, well. Back to square one, I guess.
As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. Alright, let's see what this has to say. This must be a pretty long one, too. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt. But somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me. But he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really small thing, and I was really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck, and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get the— Oh my god! He rolled out of the truck? And yet he didn't get a scratch. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that. And I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then, he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who would take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mom. He'd like to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." You would never bothered me before. But after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch, and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nice alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point. And then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though. So I figured he must have put a glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. "Is this really mine?" He nodded. Words cannot describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious. But what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building. But by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit. And the rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved. But I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain, looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. It was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever god might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever, and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if I kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. And the thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa. Because a week later, his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die. But I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up. But when the moment came by, brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady. And because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten something of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't.